Good evening, Houston. I'm KHOU11 meteorologist Kim Castro. This is what I'm tracking. A cold front is moving into the area right now, about to cross through Harris County. Behind that, we're going to have a very windy and cold Monday, and our fire risk is something that's keeping us under a weather impact alert for the duration of your Monday. I'll talk all about that, but first, the big line of thunderstorm activity. Lots of severe weather concerns for the Mississippi Valley area. This front does extend all the way down to southeast Texas, and we are seeing a few severe weather spots setting up, mainly for our northeastern cities and counties. So Livingston area right now is under a severe thunderstorm warning, but even behind that, just under the severe criteria, but still looking at the potential for some gusty wind and some isolated small hail. I'll start you off with what we're seeing in Livingston right now. Wind speeds of about 60 miles an hour, hail signatures of about 1 inch in diameter. So if you are in the area, you need to be inside for the next 30 minutes to maybe 45. And then other than that, you can tell behind there's no back building. So this is just going to be a quick moving line of thunderstorms. Here's a look at hail tracks that I've been watching over the last hour. They've maintained their significance, their size. So right now they're in the purplish range, which would mean a little bit larger than pea-sized hail, getting closer towards that golf ball sized. There's going to be some melting before that hail reaches the ground, so it might not be as large. However, it's something you definitely don't want to be outside for. Hail tracks elsewhere, they are not showing up, so you'll notice there was a little bit of a hail signature for Washington County near Brenham. That could have been some isolated small hail. Other than that, it has all cleared away. I'm also keeping an eye on wind. So this is the rotation detector. Not seeing any rotation couplets for us here in Southeast Texas, but I also use this tool to just see what the straight line wind is looking like at the moment. And right now, it is very manageable, 20-mile-an-hour winds for a lot of spots. Those brighter areas, though, those signal 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So another reason why it's just better to be inside for the next hour or so. Severe weather threat highest northeast of us. So Indianapolis to Nashville, Alabama, Mississippi, a portion of Louisiana and Arkansas, they have the higher threat for not just wind and hail, but the possibility of tornadoes. For us, we're split between a threat level 1 and 2. You saw those severe thunderstorm warnings right in the Livingston area. That's where we have that higher threat for, again, the potential of larger hail, which we are seeing right now between pea-sized to golf ball sized. For Harris County, will keep us under the lowest level threat for severe weather, but this line is going to come in with some wind and brief heavy downpours, of course, but it is going to be a really quick mover. So from now through about 8 o'clock in the evening, we're going to be watching this line of storms passing through the Loop and the Beltway by 7:30 and then exiting the southeastern portion of Harris County by about 8 to 8:30. From there on out, it goes down the Gulf Freeway, gets to Galveston by 9, and then you'll notice behind it, no more rain to watch. However, we will be watching lots of wind and some cold air. So we are under a weather impact alert because of this cold front from now all the way through lunchtime tomorrow. And the reason is we are going to feel some of those strong wind gusts, 40 miles an hour, not just as that front passes, but behind it. The wind is going to continue. That's going to increase our fire risk. I'll talk about that in a moment. And then that north breeze dragging in air from the north, which is going to give us a significant temperature drop. We're going to drop about 40 degrees from this afternoon through tomorrow morning. Ahead of the front, if you are watching and you are, say, inside the loop, maybe you're River Oaks, the Heights, Hunters Creek, go ahead and secure some of that outdoor furniture. Even if you're along, let's say 290, Cypress or Jersey Village, you still have time to make those preparations just ahead of this front so you're not seeing things whipping around in the wind. We're under a wind advisory. Again, from now all the way until tomorrow afternoon, sustained wind is going to be at 20 to 30 miles an hour. Those gusts, though, could get up to 45 miles an hour. Stronger wind along the front, though. Like I said, that's only going to last about an hour or so. Then we will be talking about our fire risk. Not only does wind increase the potential for fire starts and spreads, because of course it propels the fire quickly if there's strong wind to back it, but the orientation of the wind is important too, because because the wind is coming in out of the north, this brings in some really dry air. It's going to drop our relative humidity, and so it creates an environment that's a little bit more combustible. Dry vegetation is much more flammable, and so because of that, we have to be really careful and avoid any and all burning today and tomorrow. The temperatures, you're not going to be able to miss that shock as you step outside tomorrow morning. All across the Lone Star State, we will be cold, especially for the Panhandle, waking up in the 20s tomorrow. Amarillo down to 21 degrees. Midland below the freezing marker, waking up at 31 tomorrow. Abilene right at freezing, and then a little bit more moderate the further east and south you go. So for Austin, waking up at 42. For us here at home, we'll wake up right around 43, 44 degrees. So yes, from this afternoon in the mid 80s to the 40s tomorrow morning. That is what I call weather whiplash. A 40-degree temperature drop is significant, so I want you to be prepared for that. Your hourly forecast, well, yes, you're noticing the wind. You're going to soon notice some thunderstorm activity through the 8, maybe 9 o'clock hour. And then behind that, yes, it is all about the wind and the cold air. Overnight temperatures all across the area will dip down into the 40s. Notice 43 for Aldine and Wood Forest. You'll dip down to 45, and you are going to feel the breeze along with the chill. 45 for Montrose, 45 for 3rd Ward. Spring Branch also in the mid 40s. A little bit cooler for Huntsville and Livingston at 41. A little bit less cool for the coastline. Galveston will be waking up tomorrow morning at 49 degrees. The wind is going to be with us throughout the entire day. Now, sustained wind should be right around 15 to 20 miles an hour, but those gusts are going to get close to around 30 miles an hour for the entire day. Notice by tomorrow evening, once that wind advisory expires, wind will start to settle down just a little bit. The rest of your Monday stays cold. So head out the door in layers, and you're going to keep those layers for the entire day. Our high temperature tomorrow is running close to 20 degrees below what's average for this time of year. We'll max out in the mid 50s tomorrow, then starting to rebound for our Tuesday, which is St. Patty's Day. We'll be in the mid 60s, and then by Wednesday we are in the mid 70s. That warming trend is going to continue for the rest of the week, and actually for much of the month. This is the temperature outlook through March 25th. Warmer than normal. A big core of that is going to be for the desert Southwest, but that stretches to the Lone Star State. Us here in Houston, we are going to be seeing temperatures that are above average for this time of year. So we have a front that is turning our temperature forecast cold for tomorrow. We're also going to be windy, which is why tomorrow is a weather impact alert day, at least around lunchtime. We'll be tracking the gusty wind and the increased fire risk. And then for your St. Patty's Day, you're waking up pretty brisk. It's fresh, 40 degrees, so we continue to cool off Tuesday morning under clear skies overnight. By the afternoon, if you are gearing up for some festivities on St. Patrick's Day, you will be enjoying the weather. It'll be in the mid 60s, nice and mild. Temperatures, yes, continuing to climb through the rest of the week. So already we're going to be pushing towards 90 degrees by Friday, and that temperature trend continues all the way through your Sunday. So we're going to cool off with this front, but only briefly. Monday and Tuesday are our cold days. From there on out, we start to warm it up. Wednesday is pretty typical for this time of year. We should be in the 70s. We shouldn't be quite near 90 degrees, but hey, it's Houston. So we get ready for anything and everything. Here's another live look at radar. So we are tracking a couple of severe storms for our northeastern cities and counties. This is San Jacinto, Polk, and potentially getting down into Liberty. So I'll be eyeing that. Otherwise, very, very mild rain. You could actually see the tail end of this front starting to weaken and die down. It looks like Cypress, you're seeing a hole in the line, so maybe you get a little bit of light to moderate rain. Then there's a little cluster that's going to try to work its way towards the south and east, maybe clipping Katy with some heavy downpours, but no lightning in that area, which is nice. And then for the North Freeway right now, we are seeing a cluster of thunderstorms that has some lightning, and it looks like a little bit of heavy rain. So we'll get a close zoom in view here. If you are, say, in Panorama Village, Willis, that's where you're seeing the heavier lightning, the heavier rain potential, and maybe even a little bit of small hail. So that's what we are going to be watching today. It's just going to be the passage of this front, which is going to be fairly quickly, and then the potential of some gusty wind as that front makes its exit towards the coastline. Other than that, this is going to be a pretty quick mover, so you don't have to worry about it for too long. You just have to watch this line progress for the next hour, which is what I'll be doing. But right now, the National Weather Service doesn't have anything highlighted for the rest of the front. It's really the northeastern portion that does have the potential for a few isolated strong wind gusts and a little bit of hail. So I'll take a closer look there quickly before I let you go. Yes, so severe thunderstorm warning. This has been extended until 7:45, and it is still for the potential of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and some hailstones that are about 1 inch in diameter. So now this has been extended towards Goodrich, so if you're in that area, or Holly Grove, you would be seeing these impacts here in the next 2 minutes for Goodrich, and Holly Grove maybe the next 20 minutes. Shepherd, you're also in the line, in the path of this line, so while there isn't a severe thunderstorm warning for you quite yet, I definitely see the National Weather Service extending that near your area as well. So just take it inside for the next 30 minutes, potentially 45 minutes, and then it'll be long gone. There's nothing back building behind that, which is the good news. Severe thunderstorm warning is just for that section, the northeast side. Otherwise, this line really losing some steam there. Okay, a brand new special weather statement because of that purple spot there issued by the National Weather Service. So that purple area does signal some hail. Let's see what the National Weather Service is picking up on. Yeah, so hail size about 1/2 inch in diameter. That would be small pea-sized hail. Take note, because we've been so warm today, it's very likely that a lot of that hail core melts before reaching the ground. So this is a signature that's picked up by radar, and the beam shoots up higher into the atmosphere. And so while that hailstone may be a certain size at a certain height, it definitely diminishes by the time it gets down to the ground. But it is a good heads up for us to know that Panorama Village, Grangerland, Roman Forest, the Woodlands, you have the potential of seeing some of that hail along with some 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. This special weather statement is going to last until 8 o'clock. So for the next 45 minutes or so, we are going to be monitoring the line moving through here. Notice along its path will be Spring, Tomball. I'll get a closer view. Dogwood Acres, not quite. Bamel, Klein, some of those areas are going to feel some of that stronger wind, but really not a lot with the front. It's really starting to break apart for the most part, which is nice. Not seeing very much activity, at least on the southern flank of that front. For the northeastern side, there is a little bit more energy there, which is why we've got those severe thunderstorm warnings. The difference between the special weather statement and the severe thunderstorm warning is the intensity. So severe thunderstorms meet the criteria of severe storms, which is 1 inch diameter hail and wind gusts in excess of 58 miles an hour. Special weather statement is just below that criteria. So remember, we saw this cluster being monitored for 1/2 inch hail and wind gusts at 50. So just below that. It still warrants a heads up, and it'll definitely feel like some strong thunderstorms are rolling through there when they do come into your neighborhood, but they'll be really quick, which will be nice. Nice and brief thunderstorm activity. I'll take a zoom in view. How about, yeah, so it's already past Montgomery, past Huntsville, working its way down the North Freeway. And you see that breaking apart, losing intensity. There's no lightning. There's no thunderstorm activity for the shower activity that's moving into Katy, for example. Cypress, Jersey Village, you're not going to see a whole lot. But if If you're in the Spring area, if you're in Cleveland, those are some spots that are going to see some more of that gusty wind. So let me get a little zoom in view for you there. Some of the cities to watch: Conroe, Spring, the Woodlands, yes, and into Shenandoah, Roman Forest. Very soon, you're probably already feeling some pretty gusty wind out ahead of this main line, but soon you'll get the brief heavy downpours, the threat of some small hail, and yes, frequent lightning. That's something that we will be monitoring here over the next 45 minutes. The special weather statement is set to expire at 8 o'clock. Okay, I'll be watching this off screen here. You can always keep track of radar at home too anytime you want. You just click on the KHOU 11 Plus app. A great idea in case you had any plans on this Sunday evening. It is always good to know what is ahead at the destination you're headed to. Now, if any of these thunderstorms get a little bit stronger, I'll hop back on here, give you a personalized warning, and let you know what to expect. Remember, this is only going to last about an hour and a half, then it is done. The rain is over with. The wind, though, that's going to stick around all through our Monday into the afternoon, which is why we remain under a weather impact alert. No burning because we have an increase for fire risk, and bundle it up because tomorrow will be chilly. Remember, 50s are our high temperature on Monday.